Life Audio.
Today on Talk About That, John can't spell yogurt and has a dog who gives himself shock therapy. Meanwhile, I'm not sure a llama should be in your kitchen and tell you the surprising retail price of the nation's first ballpoint pen in 1945. Plus a conversation about whether ignorance really is bliss and why knowing the truth makes things better, but not necessarily easier. Today's episode is not sponsored by sliced bread. It's the best thing since unsliced bread. But first, a word from our actual sponsor.
Saddle up your Bantertown horses, Johnny. Let's talk about that.
What is it? Hey, you're making...
They're from Bantertown. Okay. They're born and reared. Do you rear a horse?
You raise...
Are you
You
sure?
raise horses. You rear children.
No, man. My horses are very smart.
They're like your children.
They're very with it.
They come in. Have you seen those videos on social media where there'll be an unorthodox animal in the house?
Yeah.
And part of you just goes, oh, that's pretty cool. They have a llama that eats dinner at the kitchen table. And after a while you go, this is an untenable situation.
Exactly.
Like long term, like I love animals more than most people that I know. Meaning, I love most animals more than most people. I would rather be hanging out with an animal than you, probably.
Well,
but what I'm saying is, even me, I'm like, how much can that thing poop? If we're being honest.
Right.
Like, there's no way it's like, oh, he's got to go outside again.
No.
Like, you're not getting to all of it in time.
No.
It is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I doubt you have carpet. Let me just say it.
Like, my daughter always show me the videos of people with baby pigs.
Baby pigs.
You know, and you're like, what do they, I mean, maybe they really do just behave as dogs, but yes, it's the potty training
And then they
side.
get huge, and then what do? You have a 200-pound animal
Hog.
in your, it's a hog in your house.
Maybe they have like a room where they turn into a mud pit or something, but that would be.
Well, they used to have this thing where it was very fashionable to have what was called mini pigs. And then I read a bunch of articles about those, and that's not how it works.
You read a bunch of articles about mini pigs.
Because when I was looking, I was like, oh, we could have a pig. It'd be adorable.
I really went down. I mean, I went
down the pig hole, which is not a thing.
As they call it.
Pigs do root up things, so maybe they can root a little. Anyway, I went down a couple of, and there's all this, basically, they're starving these pigs. Because to keep a pig from getting to the size it's going to get, you have to just abuse it. So it's like, oh, look, fits in my pocketbook still. Well, no, it doesn't.
Is it possible that by the nature and even the stereotype of it being a pig, that you assume it should just eat without end? Maybe maybe pigs need to have a limitation on their diet, and you're just not aware. We've just been overfeeding pigs.
You think we're overfeeding pigs?
Because we're like, well, he's a pig.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
I'm sorry.
Maybe pigs have feelings.
Well, I do believe that.
Yeah. They're cute.
Yeah.
When they're little.
Well, my brother was going to get, he's got farm animals out in East Tennessee, and a lot of them have died.
Oh.
To be honest. You get a duck, and then you get a pig, and then...
And the pig eats the duck.
Exactly. It's just the circle of life.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so, no, but by then, my 7-year-old niece is attached to these things.
Yeah.
So he was like, we're thinking about getting a cow. I go, okay, before we go here, is this a cow to just have? And it's going to be like a family pet that lives in your backyard behind the fence, or is it going to be? Is it going to be a thing where you name it and love it, and then 5 years from now or a year from now, you guys harvest this cow and it's in the freezer now, and Nettie knows the T-bone steak is Herschel or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I kept waiting for the name.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Well. Once you know the name, come on, man. So I'm not judging because I know that's how farm life works, but I'm saying. That's not how our family works.
Well, no, we talked about that, our distance from understanding the true origins and the source of food. But
yeah, but I mean,
I don't know if you know this, Johnny, but food does not come from cheddars.
I guess I don't want to think about it. I guess I don't know if he decided against it or what. I've not talked to him about the Cow Chronicles, but
what would you could you name the cow something less personable?
Yeah,
like cow or
if you just distance yourself from it.
Yeah. Or maybe just a Mr. something, so you're not really getting to know him on a first name basis.
My buddy Michael Jr., who's a great comic, he used to do crowd work, and one of the things he would do crowd work with is he had this presupposition that he would start with, which was black people. He's a black comic. He goes, black people do not name their dogs human names. And that's what he would start with. Yeah. And he'd be like, and he had a very diverse audience that he would be in front of usually.
Yeah.
So he would go, I'm going to prove it to you. He would be like, and he would go, this is first of all, the anchoring of the premise was that white people spend way more on their dogs than black people at the vet and for just in general services. And it's because they've humanized them with human names. Yeah. He was like, black people, this is why we don't. And so he goes, I'll prove it. So he goes into the crowd. And I was with him one night. So this is not like an anecdotal story. Right. I was there. And I was thinking, like, if Netflix was here filming this is a special. It was unbelievable. He goes, you, ma'am. He picks a white lady out. What's the name of your dog? She goes, Lily. He goes, oh, that's nice, Lily. Yeah, that's a human name for sure. When's the last time Lily was at the vet? First of all, how long have you had Lily? She goes, 11 years. When was the last time Lily was at the vet? Last week. How much was the bill? $342. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Lily's expensive. And then he finds this black guy with dreads and he goes, what's your dog's name? And the guy goes, Jaws. He goes, Jaws. How long have you had Jaws? 12 years. 12 years. When's the last time Jaws was at the vet? He goes, never been to the vet. It was so perfect. Wow. It was really funny. And I know it's just a cultural whatever. It's just a funny like stereotype. But it was just a funny way that like you say something really kind of a little outrageous and then you pick the perfect two people in the audience. It was just such a funny moment. And it makes you just go, yeah, I wonder if I just called my dog whatever.
Right.
Would you? Because my dog's name is Daisy.
Yeah.
She's very dainty.
Yeah.
And I've imbued her with characteristics.
Right.
She sleeps in the bed.
Yeah.
Like Daisy had a flea on her. Daisy had fleas on the other day, and she never gets fleas. And I was in the bed with her snuggling, and then she's been scratching and biting, and she never does. And I look down, and she is covered with fleas. And I freaked out, but at no point was I like, there are bugs in my bed now. Get out of my bed. I was just like, you poor thing. I was like, let me get you. I went and bought flea shampoo and I took her to the,
But you took care of your bed too.
Yeah, I took care of the bed too.
Okay.
No, we're still,
I was like,
we're just, John, I'm covered in bites. No, but you know what I mean? So there is something to it. But anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
So, but I know people that call their dog Dave or something. It's just, once you call your dog Dave, you're not going to discipline that dog. It's your buddy Dave.
Yeah. No, my dog's name is Ace.
Yeah. So that's a little.
Yeah.
That's That's a little bit of that's like a character.
And my previous
name.
Dog was Brutus.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving him like,
Right.
Ace
These are.
Of course, it's a volleyball thing. It's Sadie's dog, so we named him Ace. When we
so you spike him. He's a white dog,
you
too.
Just
that's
pick him up and throw him right off the deck, man.
That's strange.
He will really go a long way. No, he is cantankerous. And you've hung out with Ace some.
I love Ace. I like it. Well, again, I like dogs. I'm inclined to like a dog.
The truth is, I love Ace, too. But it's fun. It's like, yes, the personality. No, I'm not giving him this personality.
Yeah.
He really is kind of a stinker. Like, he will manipulate you and to get what he wants. And he goes outside and barks, and he has a bark collar. He'll just bark through it.
Oh, I know. I was there for that.
Strong-willed, yeah. And so then the way that you get him to stop barking is you say, treat. And so he gets rewarded for doing the wrong thing, but it's the only way to get him back.
And you don't think that children behave this way?
Oh, I think children absolutely do.
That's what I'm saying. They're
we're more
devious.
invested
in
children, obviously, with them being our offspring and whatnot.
When's the last time Ace was at the vet?
I don't know, but he was at the groomer today.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, groomers. So, how much is the groomer?
I don't remember.
It's at $100?
I think it's less.
It's less than $100.
I think it's like in the 80s or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's 4 pounds, John.
No, they styled him like he's in the 80s.
Okay.
It's like, he comes home with a...
I think it was in the 80s. They gave him a mohawk.
I'd like to go back and correct something, too, by the way. When I said we named the cow Mr. something, obviously it would be Mrs. something or Miss.
Well,
because a bull would be Mr.
Right.
Right. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we were...
I don't think...
Because we're going to get someone out there who does have farm animals. And like, you don't even know anything about animals. And like, well, Which is sort of the whole point of this entire diatribe, that we know very little about animals.
It's signed by like totally not a cow. 100%. A cow write this? How many cow listeners we have? We are getting some new listeners. We've been getting some viewer listener support.
I do want to say, first of all, to Bill Bryant. Hopefully not related to Bear Bryant.
Hey, that sounds like a football coach 100%.
I bet Bill gets that all the time too.
Bill Bryant?
Yeah. But
he sounds like he's the team lead of something. You know?
Yeah.
He's a project manager.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Bryant said
he really is. It's like
he's somebody that you push blame off on. You go, look, I'm just telling you what Bill Bryant told me. It's very musical. It rolls right off the.
It sounds trustworthy.
It sounds powerful.
Yeah. Or like the police chief. Police Chief Bill Bryant today said.
I will say this about him. He sounds like he knows his taste. He has great taste in podcasts. He knows what he knows what he likes, and he likes it a lot.
Well, and I think that he has great taste in understanding which of the two hosts of the podcast is right. Because what his comment is, I'm with John. He just started with that. Let's just stop at those 3 words.
Let's just end the letter there.
I'm with John on the Bantertown train. Glad to hear the reference today in the podcast. I've listened to a lot of early episodes, including where the term first surfaced. Love hearing you guys on Spotify. Hey, thanks, Bill. Thanks, Coach.
The Bantertown train.
Chief.
All aboard.
What if Bill, maybe Bill's like a software engineer or something. You just like to stereotype people.
We don't know what he does.
I don't like
but
it.
I'm just saying, like, if I heard that my boss's name was Bill Bryant, I'd run through a wall for that guy.
Yeah, it's it's a trustworthy. We had another interesting review.
Okay.
It's entitled. Actually, that was an email from Bill. Thanks for the email, Bill. This was actually.
How do you send emails, John?
You would go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
There's a little voice bubble down there in the bottom right. Or you can just go to hello@talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
Or you can email to hello,
Yeah, email to hello.
Yeah, if you just type that into the internet, it's going to do nothing. Actually, it'll probably take you to our website.
It might.
There's no way to know. We had.
Oh, a review.
I don't think, they didn't leave a real name, obviously, to review, but it's entitled South African Listening to the Pod in Dubai.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, international. 5 stars. So they get it.
I like that.
And they get it. I truly love your podcast. I listen to it when I clean the kitchen at night, and it somehow makes kitchen work funnier. Hey, thank you.
I like the idea of people getting work done, being productive.
Yeah.
Because if you just sit and listen, what kind of a... Come on, man. Pull it together, America.
I know lots of people. Or Dubai. Lots of people who are. They do. This is their thing. They listen to while they're mowing.
That's true.
There's a lot of mowing.
Yeah, our friend Larry mows while he listens.
Like Larry mows and Curly.
Larry mows.
Hey, John, it's about that time.
Oh, is it?
We love our sponsors here.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Now let's take a moment and hear a few words from them right now. I have a story. It's more of a confession.
Oh.
Last week on the episode, this is hard for me because I write, and I tell people this when I interview for books and stuff, like, because I try to be forthright, authentic, honest, genuine.
Yeah.
I have a thesaurus.
Right.
And one of the things I tell them is, like, it really is kind of crazy to me that I do this because I wasn't an English major or anything.
Weren't you a minor?
No.
Oh.
No, I mean, to be quite honest with everyone, and none of this is hard to hear.
It's not your first language.
English classes were my least favorite classes, probably.
Right.
Like, I just didn't. I mean,
I would think you would like it because English is all about rules, but we break a lot of rules in English too, which you don't like because the rules don't matter. Like I before E, except after C. Well, there's 100 exceptions.
Right.
Wah, wah.
And let's not. Yeah. Well, I think English was God, I'm so sorry if any former English teachers are listening because it wasn't about them, Johnny.
Oh, boy.
But it was just kind of boring to me. Like, I was like, I kind of already know. If you've read anything, you kind of already know what to do naturally, right? You pick up the rules as you go. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind some of the literature stuff, I suppose, later in life.
Right.
Like All Quiet in the Western Front, I read because of school. It was one of my favorite books. To Kill a Mockingbird, without English classes, I wouldn't have done that. But I was a history guy. But anyway, I tell people, like, this is kind of, I really feel like it's what God wanted me to do because I have no business doing this. So when I mess up words or spelling, like, it really, all my friends around me, it's fun for them.
It is fun.
And so last week, the feld swoop thing.
Right.
Right. Okay. Someone said that to me this week, like, well, one fell
swoop, John.
I was like, okay, guys, thanks. But so I'm going to make it worse.
Okay.
So we're a tad bit understaffed right at this exact moment in summer. Mm-hmm. Our good friend Jake, who had his, kidney transplant, is still recovering and going through his process. Of course, he's married to our worship and creative director, and so she's taking care of him. And our community director was on a much-deserved vacation for the week, and on Sunday it was great. Sort of like he wanted to do it. Our lead pastor actually went down and led the elementary.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
And so it was great because we talk upstairs, hey, everybody, this is a great chance to kind of promo what we do here. We all serve, Johnny.
Yeah.
We all serve.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot. I got here kind of extra early. And so normally our community director, we do a full breakfast in our brew cafe every Sunday morning, And so there's a little sandwich sign, which is funny if it's for menus, but it's a little sandwich sign and you put these letters on it. And I got here and did the letters for the breakfast. And so one of those things was for fruit and yogurt.
Fruit and yogurt.
And we had then sausage biscuit, fruit and yogurt. And I don't know why. I mean, I was a little stressed, I think, because I had to help out in worship because obviously our worship director's not here. And then I was also speaking that day. It was a little more of a John show than actually a lot more of a John show than I
This
prefer.
feels like, because you were like, oh, these people are going through this, and now there's transplants, and there's people, and you're like, but it's put a lot on me, if I'm honest.
Just for that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about me? Yeah. But no, I mean, I just think my brain wasn't all there per se.
I want to know what happened on this sandwich board.
And so, have you ever put letters on like a sandwich board?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I used to work in a movie theater and we do the marquee. We change out the movie title. So I got the big suction cup thing. Yeah.
When you're up close, you can easily misspell something. So I'm really making sure I have enough letters. And
Let me guess how you misspelled yogurt. Did you put an H in yogurt?
I did not put an H.
Okay.
And I did this and left it.
Oh, no.
And it was all morning. I didn't notice it till Monday morning when I walked in.
Right.
I spelled yogurt somehow.
With a Q.
Y-O-U.
Oh, no.
G-A-R-T. I don't know.
You had two?
I had two. Yogurt.
Yogurt. Oh, no, John.
It was...
Yogurt.
Nobody else noticed it.
Oh, boy.
On the staff level. But then a bunch of us noticed it because we all come, most of us come in the foyer for meetings.
They were like,
stuff.
what 6-year-old is helping in the cafe?
And until I told them in the staff meeting it was me, they had all assumed it was other people. That's what the funny part was.
Right. Nobody would assume. Yeah. John's the idiot.
And people are sending me videos of it on the staff thread now because it's out there. I left it for now.
Yogurt.
Yeah. And I'm editing a book right now. Wow. And so I'm like, man, this is, I don't think I should be doing this. I think that maybe I've taken everybody for a little bit of a ride here. But between Feld Swoop and Yogurt, guys, but if you'd like to hire me for your next project, look, I'm not an editor.
No.
But I do know.
You need somebody to be like, hey, let's have a look.
I didn't have that little red line up here underneath it that helps me.
That's true.
out.
Don't you expect that?
But the truth is, I'm an exquisite speller. I'm actually really good at spelling.
Could you spell exquisite for me?
I could, but I'm not going to.
7, 3. No, that's numbers. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It's a good thing that I don't have a lot of room for pride on that because I have sucked it up a lot the last week or two. So I'd like to apologize to you, to my family. Yogurt.
Yeah, Yogurt.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, Johnny. So
I thought maybe an H because I've seen English spellings of yogurt with an H.
Really?
With a Yoghurt.
Okay.
I think I've seen that before.
Like a donut.
Yeah.
Right. Not like a donut that yogurt
like
is.
Ghost has a GH, like in the hard G sound. So I've seen that in yogurt before. I think maybe I've seen it in like a restaurant or something. We have yogurt and you're like, an H in yogurt. But you somehow came up with...
Wow. It's almost like yogurt that you make art out of. Almost like I make a little business now. Come to Yogurt. And then we hand all the kids, they sit down with a bunch of crafts, but their medium is yogurt. Yeah. And they start with it, and I don't know.
It's a self-portrait because it's Yogurt.
Can you paint yourself using nothing but yogurt?
Paint me like one of your French yogurts. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, enough of that, guys. I'm sorry for my spelling. I think it's that time, Johnny.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's time for the quote of the week.
Oh, John's quote of the week.
John's quote of the week, a little segment we call They Talked About That.
Mm. Not a sponsor.
Johnny actually shared this with me. I was going through some things, and you were like, "You shared this."
John's been going through some things.
As you could tell. William Makepeace Thackeray, which what a great middle name.
If you are named William Makepeace Thackeray and you're not an English writer, you've missed your calling.
Or a politician, right?
Yeah, come on,
or a pastor, maybe. Or maybe.
Yeah. Makepeace is a great middle name, by the way. I wonder if that's like a.
Is
that an actual middle name, or is it like...
It is, because we're looking at it right now.
No, what I'm saying, like, was it a middle name that was like... Or was it like a last name that they added?
I'm going to guess it's somebody's family name that got put in there.
Makepeace is good, man. That's a good one. We need one of that. Yeah.
And he married someone named Not War. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Anyway. English novelist, born in 1811. Mm-hmm. He said, "I never knew whether to pity or congratulate a man on coming to his senses."
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a wild one. It's deep.
It is. It reminds me of some things like I'll preach this sometimes. Like we have this sort of idea that the truth sets you free, right? Mm-hmm. Because the scriptures use that phrase, but I think we take it like that. The knowledge. We only take truth as a knowledge-based thing, right?
Yeah.
Being like, well, now that we've told you about your sin, you're going to be free. And the truth is, that's not. Because truth is way deeper than just knowledge.
Well, or even that, or that it'll make things easier. Like being free and having an easier life is not necessarily the same thing either.
See the Matrix.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, oh, I'm free now because I know all this. I know the truth. Like, that's like the whole ignorance is bliss thing, you know? And I'm not saying because I know everything now, so I can speak from the other side of this.
Right,
and I'll just tell you, it's rough.
Yeah.
No. But I'm just saying, like, I can understand both sides of it. Of like, you would rather know. Mm-hmm. You think you would rather know, but also there is a burden in knowing a lot. I think we know more now than we ever have about each other. We know more about the news. We know more about, and are we less anxious or more anxious? We're obviously more anxious. We feel like we're more anxious, more depressed as a culture. Mm-hmm. So, And then, of course, we have a whole section of our country that's just like inventing their own truth. You know, they're just like, no, I've decided that truth is not the truth. This is the truth. So that creates its own kind of anxiety.
It does. Because if truth moves so much, the target moves, it's hard to know. Which, by the way, that full scripture, and I wasn't ready to quote it, so I looked it up real quick, it actually says this. Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." So it's in the context of following Jesus' ways, right? As a disciple, being a follower. And then truth comes. But like I always say to the people, like, when I got the news that I have high cholesterol, that was truth, but it did not set me free.
Yeah.
Right.
It just gave you a choice to make now.
Yeah.
It's better than not knowing.
Correct.
Because you not know, you go, man, I wonder why John died of a heart attack at 45.
Right.
And then they have to find out after your death, do an autopsy. He had really high cholesterol.
Yeah, like
his arteries were clogged 90%, all of them.
Yeah.
Even arteries he didn't have.
Yeah. He grew
He
new
was
ones.
clogging other people's arteries. There used to be a comedian who would say that. My dad was so angry on vacation, he used to get out of our car and hit kids in other people's cars. I don't know why I was reminded of that. Okay. But yeah, so it's better to know.
Yeah.
But also that freedom can cause an anxiety that's, we think of it as like, oh yeah, truth will set you free. And that's always like going to be a positive or a pleasant experience. It's a positive experience. I don't know if it's always pleasant.
Right. But remember that truth is grander than knowledge. It's again, the idea of being a disciple is a walk, a following, a way, right?
Yeah.
That's what the early Christians call it, the way. And so what he's saying is if you walk the way, then you will, I think, increasingly come to know truth, which is what he said the Holy Spirit would do, to remind you of all things and teach you all things. And then through that process of all that together, yes, and some of it not always pleasant necessarily, but it will bring freedom to your life. And I think that's coming to your senses, man. I mean, it really is. And of course, the best example ever is stepping on a scale. Like stepping on a scale and realizing you're overweight is not a good moment, right? and it does not make you lose any weight at all.
Right.
It doesn't change anything about it. So, yeah, interesting. Makepeace Thackeray.
Yeah.
Oh, Willie.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's good. All right, John. Well, it's time for my segment, and that is Johnny's Joke of the Week, Johnny's Old Jokes. I wanted to do again where we kind of focus on a particular comic who I really like and that some of our listeners may have heard of, but I just like shining a light on them because we did Henny Youngman a few weeks ago, who was really kind of an older comic, but was one of the first to do like a rapid fire one-liner style of comedy. All the comedy up to then had been like long stories or confessional comedy or just like set up punt. This was like literally a guy, you might go see a guy do 10 minutes and he might do 4 jokes.
Yeah.
Henny Youngman would do 100 jokes in that time. So he kind of branded this new kind of comedy. And since then there was guys like Stephen Wright, who was kind of an absurdist Henny Youngman. He was Henny Youngman, but it wasn't like my wife's cooking is terrible. It was like I went to the grocery store or I went to the hardware store and bought some used paint. It was in the shape of a house. Like his ideas were very absurd.
Yeah.
And then you had people like Dimitri Martin. Well, along that same line, I wanted to focus today on one of my favorites. He's on probably my Mount Rushmore of comics as far as if you have to pick one absurdist one-liner comic, it's Mitch Hedberg. Do you know who Mitch Hedberg is?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah.
So Mitch is a guy who passed away in his 30s, sadly of a drug overdose, around 2005. But he has some of the funniest jokes. And the thing I love about Mitch's jokes is they're so perfect that they're funny even if someone who doesn't do comedy reads them.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, gotta be that's like a bulletproof style of writing. When you go,
it's a litmus test.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't have to put anything on it, which he did put stuff on it. He had a very odd delivery, and he was very introverted and had stage fright. He would look at his shoes a lot. He wore sunglasses on stage a lot.
Wow.
And so he had a very strange style of delivering. But I wanted to read a few Mitch Hedberg jokes, and you can go research Mitch for yourself if you're listening to the show. This is from a Reddit post about Mitch. What's your favorite Mitch Hedberg joke? So this is just a few. And a few that I don't remember, which is great. This one says, I hate dreaming because I just want to sleep. Dreams take energy. Dreams are work. Sleeping is supposed to be relaxing. I'm fast asleep. The next thing you know, I have to build a go-kart with my ex-landlord. That's just so random and funny to me. This is one of the most famous Mitch jokes. I bought a donut, and they gave me a receipt for the donut. I don't need a receipt for the donut. I'll just give you the money, and you give me the donut. End of transaction. We don't need to bring ink and paper into this. I can't imagine a scenario where I would have to prove I bought a donut. Some incredulous friend, don't even act like I didn't get that donut. I got the documentation right here. It's at home in the file under D for donut.
That's good.
There's one that I remembered from his Comedy Central special. He said, I don't have a girlfriend. I just know a girl that'd be really mad if she heard me say that. That's like perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect joke. I find that a duck's opinion about me has a lot to do with whether or not I have bread. I mean, these are bulletproof jokes.
Yeah.
And which is why when you see somebody talk about comedy and they have a very specific idea of what comedy is and is not, it bugs me every time because they go, oh, this guy plays guitar. He's not a real comedian. Oh, this guy's not being confessional. I don't know anything about him when he finishes his act. So that's not real comedy.
Right.
Because their idea of comedy is somebody that's like, it's therapy to them. They're telling you all about their problems in their life. So they see somebody who's an absurdist like Mitch and they go, yeah, he just told like 90 jokes, but I don't know anything about him. But then you go, it's comedy. It's its own thing. Like it's a million things. That's what I love about it. So anyway, Mitch is one of the best ever. And he's actually one of those guys that everybody loves doing a Mitch impression when you read a Mitch joke. Yeah. Every comic loves Mitch. And that's the thing about comedy is you can't do cover comedy. You're right. Called a hack if you rip off a comedian. Right. So I always had this idea with a friend to do like a show on Halloween where we do covers.
Oh, that'd be great.
But we make it dark. We do it like if they're come back from the dead or something. We put, ghoul makeup on or zombie versions of our favorite comedians. One of us would be Richard Pryor. One of us would be Mitch Hedberg. One of us would be Joan Rivers. One of us would be, in the whole scene. And I think Nashville Comedy did do that one year. They didn't do the ghoul style. They just did one guy came out and did Richard Pryor. One guy came out and did. But I think it'd be funny to do it as the undead. That's just how I feel. I want to be Mitch Hedberg is what I guess I'm saying.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
there it was.
It writes itself. Yeah, but anyway, so check out Mitch. He's one of the best ever, and that was Johnny's joke of the week.
That was good.
Yeah. John, it's that time to wrap up the show.
That
means we're going to go all the way back.
Careening towards
closure, and that is talk about them. This week in history, John, 1945.
Oh, it was the end of the war.
It
was the end of World War II.
Okay. The first U.S.-made ballpoint pen goes on sale at Gimbel's department store.
A lesser event in 1945.
It was a bargain, and they sold nearly 10,000 the first day. Do you want to guess what the price was for the first U.S.-made ballpoint pen?
It was a bargain?
It was a bargain at the time.
I mean, a penny?
$12.50.
That was a bargain for a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, that was how revolutionary it was, that you didn't have to put your quill in a thing of ink, I guess.
Not until 45 were people they weren't using quills and...
Well, I don't know what they were using. All I'm saying is like the ballpoint pen was evidently...
There's been other pens preceding the ballpoint.
I'm just assuming that it was enough to where they were like, this is a week's pay or whatever it was then. And they go, it's worth it because we're sick to death of non-ballpoint pens. Now, listen, I'm not fact-checked this, but this says a bargain at $12.50 each.
Interesting.
That's odd, right?
Wow.
That's a shocker to me.
Yeah, you got me.
Because now you can get, that's one of those things where you never talk about that. Like, they would say, when so-and-so was president, gas was this. When so-and-so was president, now gas is this. But nobody ever, like, looks at other things that really, like, go down in price. Like, somebody said that one day. They were like, when somebody was president, a plasma television was $10,000. A big screen TV is now $200.
Yep.
Nobody gets credit for that.
No.
Okay. Anyway, all right, John, the founder of the Hallmark Greeting Company was born this week, 1982.
Mr. Hallmark.
It was an American. No, it was Joyce Clyde Hall.
Mrs.
Oh, it is Hall. It's Hallmark. Yeah.
Hallmark.
So we're there. He was the founder of the Hallmark Greeting Card Company. And do you remember their slogan? Hallmark Greeting Cards?
I don't.
When you care enough to send the very best.
Oh, okay. That's
pretty good.
Oh, it's good.
Whenever somebody used to talk in a schmaltzy way, that used to be an insult. You'd say, this sounds like a greeting card.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And now they have it. I don't even know if Sadie is going to grow up thinking of Hallmark as a greeting card company. She'll think of it as cheesy Christmas movies. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
This is a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. So
one begat the other, and now we think of it as we had something like that last week where we talked about it. Like one thing was known for this, and now it's totally the mindset of it has changed. But I don't know.
Interesting.
Do you think could you see yourself writing a Hallmark movie, John? Or would you constantly? You could. What's a formula?
Right. Yeah. Well, I love the formula kind of thing when you can find it. Although I want that twist. Like maybe the main character is a ghoul, or whatever, like you said, something you didn't expect. It's like at the very end. He
is the killer.
Like this whole super romantic, super like cheesy thing, just super clean. At the very, very end, he's undead, and we didn't know it the whole time. Like he pulls off a mask and it just floats away into the woods or something.
This is the most terrifying Hallmark movie of all time.
As the credits are going, it'd be great. Just no explanation. Just
John, finally, this week, 1904, German-American gymnast George Iser won 6 Olympic medals in a single day.
Wow.
With one leg. He lost his leg in his youth after being run over by a train.
Whew.
Not the Brantertown train.
No.
He wore a wooden prosthesis. He won 3 gold, parallel bars, long horse vault, and 25-foot rope climb, which that would be an Olympic. That was an Olympic.
Huh.
The rope climb was a thing in 1904.
It's still a thing in CrossFit.
Okay, but in gym class, I remember the rope climb. Maybe that's why it hung on so long. Is because they were like, "Hey, this was an Olympic sport."
That's why you hung on so long. You were 25 feet in the air.
I didn't want to fall on that thin blue mat and break every bone in my body.
Ooh.
Good grief, those ropes! The knots in the rope. That's not
chafing.
That's bad.
Burning.
Anyway, he won 3 gold, and then he won 2 silver pommel horse and 4 event all around, and 1 bronze on the horizontal bar.
That's really impressive.
We've had a lot of people who have overcome disabilities to do things on the show, but that one is like pretty surprising. That here's a German-American gymnast. Well, it doesn't say who he won the medals for. Was it for Germany or America?
Which Olympics?
1904.
Okay.
But anyway, he overcame, and that's pretty crazy. And of course, I wonder when the Paralympics started, where he probably would have been pushed into those, not even pushed to compete against able-bodied athletes. So that is odd and interesting to think.
Yeah. But
yeah, I feel like, John, you are something that I have to overcome.
Yes.
From day to day.
I don't know if they give out
You're
medals.
the train.
Yeah.
That cost me a segment of whatever,
right.
of my personality maybe. And I have to push through. I got to figure out how we're going to put another show together for these fine people.
Yeah, the people who know you, I find that they're very amazed at what you pull off in spite of me. You know what I'm saying? It's like a boat dragging an anchor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody say anchor us, but we're moving. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's an interesting thing in culture, too. I hear it in hip-hop, too, a lot, where they say they're thanking their wife or girlfriend, and they say, you hold me down.
Yeah.
Girl, you always hold me down.
Way different than you keep me down.
That is different. Like, hold me down sounds like, stop holding me down.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fly.
I finally made it, and now
You are holding me down.
Yeah.
It's a compliment somehow.
I like the idea always, too, of... We would say, look, man, this dude take a mental break, man. Mm-hmm. But it's so different and so close to having a mental break.
Having a mental break.
Like, so sometimes I'll say, dude, take a mental break so you don't have a mental break. Come on now. Mm-hmm. But we do interchange those things. It's really close.
Won't that preach?
But won't it, though? I don't know if it would.
Some of y'all need a mental break. And, John, if you wanted to listen to more episodes, maybe take a break. And have some more fine quality entertainment like this, where would you go?
You go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
I thought you were just name another website. That'd be great. I'd go here.
Google.
I'd go anywhere but here. Over 300 episodes on there for you to enjoy.
Too many, really.
Maybe you're in the family truckster headed out on your vacations still.
Yeah.
School's starting soon.
It is.
You had like a little tinge of, are you excited or pensive?
No, I'm fine. My daughter's starting a new school.
Well, you're not going.
No, I like having her around.
You're like, it's exams. I don't know. The other kids pick on me.
You know what? When my kid turned 16 this week.
Oh, yeah.
And so there is it's
a big one.
Like, I'm not in that place of like, oh no, but I recognize there's 2 more of those summers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, technically, maybe 3. I told her that, it's like, let's hold you back. Like, let's really blow it up this year. Just make the bad grades, and we can have a whole other summer together.
So what you're saying is you hold her down.
I do. I hold her down.
That's good. No, you're a good dad. It'll be fun.
I don't know about all that, man.
No, I don't either. I was just saying stuff.
I appreciate that. we need to fill her.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
John, let's talk about your new projects. You're working on a couple things. Where can they find out more about you?
You could go to John Driver with an H. .com.
That's a long website.
YOUGHAR. No, johndriver.com. I'm actually, you wouldn't find it there, but I finished my first draft of screenplay.
Oh, okay.
For a project I was commissioned on, and pretty excited about it. We're going through edits and stuff now. So
beautiful.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll see.
John's in the movies. He's in the movie biz. It'll change you, man.
Man, already I just found myself just yelling and discriminating at people like, don't you know who I am? Like, they were like...
He walks into rooms with his hands out like this, like he's sizing up the scene. Can we have the bigger booth? I don't love this.
Can I cross-dissolve to the other side of this restaurant? Because I know all the transitions now, Johnny.
It'd be cool if you could just cross-dissolve as a person.
Wouldn't it be great? Mm-hmm. Just cross-dissolve out of this situation into something else.
You know, when you think about it, Dracula cross-dissolves.
Wow.
You know, because he's... That's a cross-dissolve. Yeah.
That's good.
I apologize if any vampires are listening to the show. I didn't mean to say anything.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. Yeah.
Apologies.
You should check out Johnny's website, though, JONNIEW.com. That's Jonnie W.
No H.
That's right, no H. And, man, Johnny's all over. He's got back from Iowa.
I did get back from Iowa. Yeah. Lineville, Iowa.
Yeah.
I did an outdoor event, and it was really hot, but the people were very kind.
When you described it, it reminded me of an old Scarlet Thread show, our band.
Yeah.
When we played.
They put you in the back of a truck and be like, oh, you'll just play and people.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
we were in a park. It was like mid-July.
Uh-huh.
And it was like.
The hottest day of the year.
Were they mayflies?
Mayflies. They look like mosquitoes.
But it was like a mayfly infestation.
They landed on my face, guitar, neck.
Yeah, all of it. We were literally covered in sweat, covered in mayflies, playing in an outdoor show. Man. I don't know why we didn't make it.
I don't either.
But Johnny's making it though, guys.
No.
Like, he's all over the place.
I do have a show coming up in Cincinnati. If you're an Ohio person, come see me in Cincinnati at Dayspring Church, July 28th. Tickets at my website, JonnieW.com.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And guys, leave us reviews. You never know. We might read some of them.
That's true.
As we did today. Send us an email.
John can read. I mean, I know that he's not giving you any reason to believe that he struggles. But
my brain might be a little, like I've been a little, I get it. Others are having a harder time than me.
Yeah. When you looked at it, did you see yogurt?
No, yeah, I did.
You were like, done.
Got it. Nailed it. And I walked on. And here's the crazy thing. When people came that day and heard me speak or whatever, no one knew.
No one knew
when they
that
saw it that I had.
They were snickering to themselves coming into the room, not realizing the guy who's getting ready to preach to them
of the gospel, right,
is the guy who wrote that.
Whoever wrote that out there doesn't know what they're
doing. They would have gotten in their car and gone home had they known.
I may have to confess it to the church just for fun.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah, like guys, I'm sorry about the yogurt. Yogurt, you say. But
yogurt.
Yeah. Hey guys, do check out the website though. Leave some reviews, man. Wherever you listen to podcasts, share with a friend, and it means a lot to us. Let's do it again next week on
Talk About